Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to today's Friday Reflections on this Friday, the 6th of March 2026. I hope you are well wherever you're tuning into this from. And we are on one of the last sessions of this book, the Life and Leadership Lessons from Surah al-Kahf, based upon this book by Professor Dr. Hassan Mohi-ud-Din Qadri. And we're going to reflect on verses 109 and 110, following the guidance of the professor in the book. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Say, if all the ocean were ink for the words of my Lord, the ocean would surely run dry before the words of my Lord are finished, even if we brought another like it to help. The infinite wisdom of Allah. Imagine standing at the shore of a vast, seemingly endless ocean. The waves stretch beyond the horizon, a testament to the sheer magnitude of creation. Now, picture that entire ocean as ink, designated to write down the words of Allah. Even with all its depth and enormity, the ocean would run dry before the words of Allah could ever be fully inscribed. This vivid imagery from Surah al-Kahf, that's Surah 18, verse 109, serves as a profound reminder of Allah's limitless knowledge and grandeur. As you reflect upon this verse, consider how its wisdom can transform your faith, personal life, and professional journey. In our daily pursuits, we often get caught up in the finite nature of our own abilities and resources. We measure success by material wealth, status, and achievements. However, this verse invites us to shift our focus to the infinite wisdom and guidance of Allah, which transcends all worldly measures. And that's not to say that we should focus on material wealth and our work and our careers and these things. But if that is our only focus, we're clearly missing something. That is a message within this verse in Surah al-Kahf. That is also a message of literally every single religion on the face of the earth and every single religious and spiritual path. Are they all wrong? Think about it. 1. Strengthening faith through humility and trust. Improving your faith begins with acknowledging the boundless nature of Allah's wisdom. Just as the ocean's ink runs dry, our understanding will always fall short of fully comprehending the extent of His knowledge. This realization should humble us and encourage a deeper connection with our Creator through prayer, reflection, and the constant seeking of His guidance. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, often emphasized humility and the pursuit of knowledge. His life was a living testament to balancing worldly responsibilities with a profound devotion to Allah. He faced numerous trials with unwavering faith, teaching us that true strength lies in trusting in Allah's plan, even when it diverges from our own. There will be moments in our lives when we plan things, we hope for things to go a certain way, we, dot the I's and cross the T's, and we really hope things will turn out a certain way, and it doesn't. And this happens to every single one of us. There's no one out there, I think, that has planned everything in their life and everything they've planned has turned out how they planned. The world just doesn't work like that. So we should learn from these things and develop a certain humility. That's not to say that we don't go out there and plan what we need to plan and work best to make those plans work if they are good plans. But if we have so much faith only in our own plans and we think that they're foolproof, then we're going to fall short. We're always going to fall flat on our face with that one. We need a certain humility and to understand, even there are many atheists who understand that, things like in the greater scheme of things, that there is more than what they're planning. And they're atheists. I mean, as people who are believers, who believe in Allah, we should believe that even more than they do. 2, personal growth through divine wisdom. In your personal life, applying the wisdom of this verse means embracing patience and trust in Allah's plan. The Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is rich with examples of how he faced challenges with steadfast faith. One notable event is the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, where the Prophet displayed incredible patience and strategic thinking, despite initial and I would say much disappointment. This event teaches that setbacks are often disguised opportunities for growth, and that trust in Allah's wisdom is paramount. How many of us have encountered that within our lives, that we've planned one set of things, whether that is work, whether that is events, whether that is a series of activities or initiatives, and they didn't turn out how we planned, and then something else turns up in our life, totally unexpected, and is actually better than what we were originally planning. And that works. I think at some point or another, we've all experienced something like that. That is a sign of this subtle divine action within our lives, that Allah is planning for us, and if we trust in Allah, Allah will help us. And it may not manifest in ways that we expect. So we must trust in that divine wisdom. The Quran also encourages us to find solace in Allah's infinite wisdom, as is seen in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 216. However, you may hate a thing while it is good for you, and you may love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows, and you do not know. This is a very important point. We cannot really comprehend how Allah sees things, but we must understand that the creator of universes, that holds the whole of our universe, let alone this earth and our lives, but the whole of this universe in his metaphorical hands, that creator sees things in a vastly different way than we do, and can see things that we will be totally unaware of. And we also must look, if we look at our fingerprints, if we look at our eye colors, we look at the subtle beauty in so many different aspects of even the butterfly's wings, or flowers, or leaves, or the sky, so many different things. The care and attention that Allah has taken, even to the smallest of details. This indicates that Allah has both a depth of insight and understanding about us and seeing things that we do not see, and equally at the same time, a care even over the small details that beautify us. So Allah shows both the depth and care within this. There are things that we will choose to do in our lives that may not be good for us. We may set out a set of plans which even we think are good and which seem good to us. And this message is in the Quran. But if we actually went down that course as we initially planned, there may be something that we are unaware of that would actually trip us up. So maybe something else has to happen in a slightly different way. And we wouldn't necessarily be aware of that. We can do all of the due diligence. We can be as careful as we can. And we must and we should do those things. That is very important. But even then, we may still miss something. But do you think Allah misses it? And if you've been praying to Allah and seeking Allah's protection and Allah's blessings and Allah's support, maybe Allah knows something that you do not know. So Allah puts a stumbling block in some of our plans, not because Allah wants to frustrate us or upset us, but because Allah cares about us and we have been praying for His help and support. You think about it even on our level. If you're helping and supporting, let's say you're a mentor for someone who's younger, would you not do something similar? And we're not talking about us, we're talking about the creator of the universe who sees way more than we do and has infinite wisdom. So this verse reminds us to trust in Allah's greater plan, recognizing that our limited perspective may not always see the full picture. 3, professional integrity anchored in our faith. Professionally, this verse encourages you to lead with integrity and purpose. Knowing that Allah's wisdom is infinite should inspire you to act ethically, seek continuous improvement, and prioritize long-term, meaningful success over short-term gains. The Quran also emphasizes the importance of justice and fair dealings in business. Woe to those who give short measures, those when they take the measure of any commodity from people, they take it in full. But when they measure or weigh for others, they give less. Very clear verse in Surah 83, verses 1 to 3. Woe to those who give short measures. It means they don't either do the full service or give the full product or give the best. Those who, when they take from other people, so when you sell them something, they make sure they take everything, their full amount for that. But when they measure for someone else, let's say they have wheat or something, if they were buying it, they would make sure from their supplier they get all of it and maybe get a good deal from their supplier. But when they are selling it to other people, they will sell you 900 grams instead of a kilo for that price that you should be paying for a kilo. But when they measure or weigh for others, they give less. This is what it means. People that are tricky and not considering the well-being of others and not being fair with people. The Prophet Muhammad himself was known for his honesty and trustworthiness in trade, earning the title of Al-Amin, the trustworthy. By emulating his example, you can build a professional reputation rooted in integrity and faith. Now you think about this within a business setting. Whatever kind of business you're in, you could be a carpenter, you could be a plumber, you could be a solicitor, you could be any kind of business. But if you are known and renowned within your trade or within your business as always doing a good job, as being honest, of never stealing, never tricking, never taking what you're not entitled to, but instead doing the good service or selling the good product and being honest and treating your customers or clients properly, how are you going to be seen within that business? Your reputation, your integrity will precede you. In some cases, people who do that, they do not even need to advertise because people know who they are. They know they are a good person. They know that they are honest and decent to do a good job or sell the best product and do it fairly. So their reputation precedes them and people seek them out. So that you see the best blessing that this will actually give to your business in a very practical way. The Prophet's life provides numerous examples of ethical leadership. His approach to business was not only to seek profit, but to ensure fairness and justice. He treated his customers and partners with respect and honesty, setting a standard for us to follow. By incorporating these principles into your own professional life, you can create a legacy of ethical leadership and sustained success. And indeed, we have examples of this in the British context as well. You look, if you see some things, they say BS standard, British standard. Now that a lot of those British standards became ISO standards, international standards. And there's a reason why these regulations were put in place, so that the product or the service that you are buying comes up to a certain standard. It is measured. Whether these people realize it or not, by actually putting in place such a system, they are following the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, who was honest and fair and trustworthy in his dealings. 4. Applying divine wisdom in daily life. Incorporating these teachings into your daily life can help you navigate both personal and professional challenges with grace and wisdom. As you stand at the metaphorical shore, looking out at this vast ocean of Allah's words, let us remind you of the endless guidance and support available to you. This reflection is not just an expression of awe, but an invitation to transform your life, anchoring your actions in the eternal wisdom of the Holy Quran and exemplary life of the Prophet Muhammad. By embracing humility, seeking continuous growth, and upholding ethical standards, you can align your life more closely with divine principles. This is key. It's applying these things in your own life. It is one thing to believe. There are so many people who go to mosque on Fridays or church on Sundays, and they say, we believe. And then during the rest of the week, what difference do you see? How is this reflected within their actions? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that if we really believe, that should be reflected in our actions. This is also something which Jesus' brother James in the Bible, in the letter of James, said the same thing. He said, if someone comes to you and seeks your help, and you just say, may God bless you, and let them go on their way, when you could have done something to help them, then you have no faith, that you're not a believer. If you do it and if you literally have nothing and you offer prayers, that's different. But if you have something that you can help that person with and you don't help them, how is that reflecting your faith? When you know that Jesus and Muhammad and all of the prophets were people who helped people, who served their communities and did their best. 5. Embracing patience and resilience. Patience is a virtue deeply rooted in Islamic teachings. The story of the Prophet Ayub, who is also called Job in English, serves as a prime example of unwavering patience in the face of immense trials. Despite losing his wealth, health, and family, he remained steadfast in his faith, never wavering in his trust in Allah. This narrative teaches us the importance of patience and resilience, encouraging us to remain hopeful and to trust in Allah's plan, even during the most challenging of times. 6. Building strong community ties. This verse also emphasizes the significance of community and collective well-being. The Quran frequently highlights the importance of caring for others and fostering strong community ties. Surah 107, verses 1 to 7, remind us of the necessity of supporting the needy and being compassionate. By applying these principles, we can build stronger, more supportive communities that reflect the true spirit of Islam. 7. Encouraging lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is another key aspect of personal and professional development emphasized in Islam. As it is stated, seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. This is, I think it's a hadith, yeah. This famous saying urges continuous learning and growth, pushing us to expand our understanding and capabilities throughout our lives. By committing to lifelong learning, we can remain adaptable and innovative in our personal and professional endeavors. 8. Nurturing spirituality in daily life. Spiritual growth is central to personal development within Islam. Regular prayer, recitation of the Quran, and engagement in acts of charity nurture our spirituality and bring us closer to Allah. These practices help us to remain grounded, focused, and aligned with our higher purpose. Conclusion. May this reflection inspire you to deepen your faith, enrich your personal life, and elevate your professional endeavors, always guided by Allah's limitless wisdom. Let the infinite ocean of His word serve as a constant reminder of the boundless knowledge and mercy that underpin our existence. May you find strength and inspiration in His eternal guidance as you navigate the complexities of life. Let this divine wisdom be your compass, steering you towards a life of purpose, integrity, and unwavering faith. Verse 110. Say, I am only a human being like you. It has been revealed to me that your God is only one God. So whoever hopes for this meeting with his Lord, let him perform righteous deeds and not associate anyone in the worship of his Lord. This beautiful verse offers a rich canvas for reflection, weaving together three essential themes at the heart of Islamic belief and practice. First, it emphasizes the human nature of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who, though divinely chosen, shares in the human experience, a reminder of his relatability and the sincerity of his message. This means is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a human being who grew up from childhood, went through those teething troubles as you grow into an adult, learned to have a career as a merchant for the woman who would become his wife, and went through many difficulties in his life. He got married, he had children, he worked, and he taught. He led initially a community which grew into a world religion. But there were so many things about the life of the Prophet that are imminently relatable to every single one of us, and whether we're Muslims or not. He was not someone who was that you can't relate to, you know, like you find in some mythologies. Second, the verse reaffirms the core Islamic doctrine of Tawheed, the absolute oneness of Allah, which serves as a divine compass, as a spiritual compass for all believers. Finally, it delivers a powerful call to action. Those who long for divine closeness must not only embrace faith, but also commit to righteous and sincere deeds in both their personal and professional lives, free from any trace of polytheism or hypocrisy. As we delve into this verse, we uncover a timeless message that blends spiritual tradition with leadership excellence. The status of the beloved prophet. The first part of the verse emerges as a shimmering thread, weaving together the celestial and the earthly, the infinite and the finite. It is a whisper from the heart of the Prophet Muhammad, a humble declaration that reverberates through the corridors of time, reminding humanity of the profound unity of creation and the transcendent majesty of the Creator. The human essence, a mirror of divine love. Say, I am only a human being like you. These words are not merely a statement, they are a portal into the depths of spiritual realization. The prophet, though chosen as the bearer of divine revelation, stands before all humanity as a mirror, reflecting the shared essence of all beings. He is a human, flesh and blood, subject to the same joys and sorrows, the same hopes and fears as every soul that walks the earth. Yet, within this humble frame burns the light of divine guidance, a testament to the boundless mercy of Allah. This verse is a call to humanity, a reminder that even the greatest of the prophets is but a servant of the Most High. It is a rejection of all forms of idolatry, whether of persons or power, and an affirmation of the oneness of Allah. The prophet's humanity is not a limitation, but a bridge, connecting the heavens to the earth, the divine to the human. It is through his humanity that the divine message becomes accessible, functioning as a beacon of light for all who seek out the path of truth. If the prophet wasn't human like us, how could we relate to him? How could we connect? But at the same time, he was the greatest of human beings. And the thing in that is also about his humility. The paradox of the human and the divine. Here lies the mystical paradox. The prophet is a human like us, yet he is a chosen recipient of the divine revelation. He walks among us, eats and drinks as we do, yet his heart is a vessel for the infinite. This duality is a deep mystery, reminding us that the divine chooses to manifest its light in the humblest of forms. It testifies to the boundless love of Allah, who elevates humanity by speaking to them through one of their own. As Hafiz Saidi Shirazi beautifully put it in these words: intercessor, ruler, the prophet divine, radiant in beauty, with grace that shines, strong in stature, noble in form, a smiling face, a cherished name. In this verse, we also find the essence of Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, and the rejection of shirk, associating partners with Allah. The Prophet's declaration is a sword that cuts through the illusions of divinity that humans often ascribe to their leaders, saints, or idols. It serves as a call to return to the purity of faith, recognizing that all greatness belongs to Allah alone. Imagine the Prophet standing before the people, his voice gentle yet firm, his eyes filled with compassion and sincerity. He does not claim to be an angel, nor does he assert that he possesses supernatural powers. He is a human, yet his heart is a sanctuary of divine light. His words are not his own, but reflect the divine will. In his humanity, we discover our potential and our capacity to carry the light of faith. This verse serves as a balm for the weary soul, reminding us that the path to Allah is open to every human being. It is a call to embrace our humanity, not a limitation, but as a vessel for the divine grace. The Prophet's example teaches that true greatness lies in becoming a humble servant of the Most High. The power and beauty of humility. In these words, we find the essence of the spiritual journey to recognize our humanity, and in doing so, to transcend it. The Prophet's declaration is an invitation to walk the path of humility, to shed the illusions of ego and self importance, and to stand before Allah as a humble servant. It reminds us that the divine message is not about elevating oneself, but about uplifting the soul through submission to Allah. Say, I am only a human like you. These words are a timeless reminder to us of the beauty of humility, the power of faith, and the boundless mercy of Allah. They call us to recognize our shared humanity and to seek the divine not in the extraordinary, but in the ordinary, not in the distant heavens, but in the depths of our own hearts. In the Prophet's humanity, we discover our own potential and our capacity to carry the light of divine guidance. And in his example, we find the path to Allah, the path of humility, love, and surrender. Let these words echo in your soul, O seeker of truth, and let them guide you to the divine presence where all hearts find their rest. Now, imagine if the Prophet presented in any other way. It is actually through the fact that the Prophet was human, in a way like us, but in another way unlike us, because Allah chose him to be the vessel for the Holy Quran to be revealed to humanity. Allah chose him for a very special mission, but in other respects, he was like us, he was human. Through this example, he shows us the potential of what each of us can become. If the Prophet was not human, if the Prophet was an angel or a demigod or some other kind of, spiritual being like that, that was not human, like you find in some mythologies, how can we relate to the Prophet, peace be upon him? But because the Prophet was one of us, he shows us how we can actually elevate ourselves through becoming more humble, through reflecting on the divine, through becoming more honest and trustworthy. We can actually transcend the lower aspects of humanity and become a true form of humanity that is in all our potential being successful and being the best kind of people that we can be. It is through his example and through his humanity that he opens that door for each and every one of us and allows us to walk through that door if we choose to do so. But the onus is always on us. It's up to us. Do we choose to walk through that door? Do we choose to work on ourselves, to reflect, to do better, and to better ourselves? I hope you find these content, videos, podcasts, and the other work that I do are beneficial and useful. If you do, please consider liking the videos and the contents and subscribing to my channels, including my Buy Me a Coffee channel, which allows you to contribute to the work that I do. And if you so do so, then you will also get a share of the blessing for doing that. I wish you all a very good evening and a wonderful weekend. May Allah bless you all. May Allah bless all of your fasts, devotions, and good activities during this holy month of Ramadan and accept them all from you. For the sake of his beloved, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of God be on you all. Good night.